What are his symptoms?
Hurts to look at a computer screen, been on the couch all day in PJs, has no motivation to do anything.
I've seen this before.
Really?
He's got a bad case of unemployment.
Is it terminal?
No, he just needs a shower, a new resume, and a prescription of...
Having a job, or being employed, is great. Not only does it feel productive, it's more money in your pocket. Not having a job, on the other hand, is not so great. It can feel unproductive and lead to worries about finances. This is also true when it comes to an economy, where employment is an important indicator of its health. After all, you can't have an economy, the producing, selling, and buying of goods and services, without workers. If more people have jobs, there's more money flowing into people's pockets, which can stimulate economic activity. If fewer people have jobs, there's less money flowing, which can lead to a decrease in economic activity.
So, what do we use to measure employment?
Well, the most common is the unemployment rate.
Generally, a higher unemployment rate is a sign the economy is struggling, while a lower rate is a sign it's doing well. To understand the unemployment rate and how it's measured, we need to begin with the labor force. The labor force is made up of two groups: the employed, meaning people working either part-time or full-time, and the unemployed, people who aren't working but are actively looking for work. The unemployment rate is measured by taking the number of unemployed people and dividing it by the total number of people in the labor force. This number is then multiplied by 100 to get a percentage. So, if there are 15,000 people unemployed in a labor force of 75,000 people, the unemployment rate would be 20%.
That sounds high. Shouldn't we try to get it as low as possible?
Well, to a degree. But
the reality is that there's always some movement happening in the job market. People moving to new jobs, in between contracts, etc. The goal then is to get unemployment to its natural rate, which is the lowest reasonable amount in a healthy economy. Though there is some debate, the natural rate of unemployment is considered to be around 4 to 6%. If the percentage is lower than the natural rate, the economy is actually overproducing, leading to a surplus of goods people don't want or need, wasting resources.
So do you catch unemployment from your dad's side or your mom's side?
what? No, it's not genetic.
There are 4 types of unemployment that happen in the market: frictional, structural, cyclical, and seasonal unemployment. Let's briefly look at each. First, frictional unemployment is when workers move through the labor force for short-term circumstances. They could be switching jobs, relocating to a new city, or taking an extended break from work. Second, structural unemployment occurs when there's a mismatch between a worker and potential employers. Some factors that could impact this are job location or whether candidates have the necessary skills for the role. For example, a computer engineer looking for a job in a town where all the employers are farms.
Oops.
Third is cyclical unemployment. This is when economic slowdown or contraction leads to layoffs. Essentially, there's not enough economic activity to justify keeping all the jobs that were needed before. The last is seasonal unemployment, which is when workers are laid off because their jobs aren't required year-round. This is often the case in tourism industries, where workers are only needed during peak seasons.
Doc, suit up! We've got to slow the spread.
Whoa, hold your horses. Sometimes the best course of action is to let it run its course.
Just like prices, employment will often fluctuate and reach equilibrium on its own in a free market. This includes people acquiring new skills to land highly desired jobs, or finding new opportunities during an economic slowdown. But some argue this takes too long and prolongs the difficulties of those out of work. So...
Doc! The government sent us these stimulus paddles! Let's charge them up!
Whoa! That can lead to serious consequences.
It sure can. For example, at the height of the Great Depression, unemployment was 24.9%, the highest it's ever been in American history. The government went to great lengths to enact policies that would increase jobs and put more money into circulation. Despite these interventions, though, the Depression continued for a decade. The eventual economic recovery has been mostly credited to World War II, which created many jobs and boosted industries making products for the war effort. While unemployment can be a difficult situation for a worker to be in, it's an important indicator of how the overall economy is doing. Many policy interventions are enacted to try to control unemployment, but these policies come with significant trade-offs. So as you navigate the job world, keep in mind how unemployment impacts not just you, but the greater economy.
Well, if things don't improve, we can always try surgery.
Yes! My first surgery!
Actually, I am feeling a lot better. I actually have an interview, so I'm gonna get out of here.
Watch more at PragerUkids.com. And parents, don't forget to subscribe.